Okay, so I'm using my selfie stick to record for the first time. It's got a little remote. I love it. It's great. Today we are making my mom's chicken salad. It's so good. And we're going to make it in this really special Hager planter, basically. Or not. I don't know if this is food safe, so we won't do that. Instead, we will make it in this vintage, like Alcoa wood bowl, which I think will fit better anyway. So, the first step we got to do is we got to cut down the rotisserie chicken here. So, could have done this beforehand, but you know, it's important to know like how long do things take. Also, you can buy the rotisserie chicken cut down already, but it'll cost you like $12. But if you buy the rotisserie chicken and cut it down yourself, it's only going to cost you like $4 or $5. So, you know, why spend? You're already spending money. You know, there's already money you're spending on all the ingredients. You know, and if you don't have the seasoning and stuff, so I'll just let you know the ingredients right off the bat are rotisserie chicken, green apples, celery, cucumber. See if I can just remember it by heart. Celery, cucumber, spring lettuce, lemon pepper, curry, basil, thyme, oregano. One of my favorite parts is toasting the pine nuts, and I just stick those in the air fryer for like 30 seconds, maybe less. They toast really fast. And then you sprinkle those in, and they're amazing. And it's just such a good chicken salad. And since it's from my mom, I thought it would be fun to share it with you guys. Anybody, I mean, look, I get it. I am not a TV personality. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this really before. It doesn't come naturally for me to be in front of a camera. I'm not great at public speaking, you know, but I just think, you know, friends have been saying, do a cooking show, because I do love to cook. I definitely get this from my mom and my aunt, and, you know, watching the women in my life cook, I think it's very inspiring, very cool. And I think I always liked that when I was a kid, you know, like you go over to family's house, and it was always like the women in our family were always the ones cooking, right? I think it's because not just a patriarchal society, but, you know, divorce. My mom was divorced at the time I was like 3, so she was trying to raise 5 kids by herself, right? So, but then when I went to my aunt's house, she was like the queen of the kitchen, right? She did not want anyone. She came from that old school, don't mess with my kitchen, you know, like Jamie Lee Curtis in The Bear, you know, and I think she took a lot of pride in it as well. And it was kind of, you know, cooking was always passed down through the female line of the family, right? And it was like hunter-gathering days, right? Like women taught their daughters while the men went out to hunt. I actually heard something really interesting, which is that when the men went out to hunt and had to be really quiet, the women would be home in a group cooking and cleaning, smashing and you know, hitting rugs and pounding seed and stuff. And apparently it is through that they created or discovered rhythm. And so it is my theory that through that, women actually invented music, is my theory. And I do think we live in a world that does not give women enough credit, so I think it's interesting if it seems possible that women invented music. And that's kind of cool to me. I mean, that's how I like to think of it anyway. You know, I think there's just so many things women have invented that they don't get credit for. Hey, they invented, you know, they created all of us, right? It's weird, it's odd the way we don't have enough respect for women when they really do so much, right? Anyway, I am glad that I respect women and think women are amazing and have been some of the most instrumental people in my life spiritually, emotionally. You know, like I said, my mom was basically raising 5 kids by herself, which is insanity. Okay, so, and I don't think we helped in keeping her sane. Okay, which is no fault of ours. Okay, let me throw this away. Alright, so now, stay hydrated. So we got a little drink here. Okay, alright, so, now we'll do some more cutting of the rotisserie, because you don't want the giant chunks of chicken. You know? That's crazy. Okay, so we toss that in the bowl. Rotisserie chicken. The rotisserie chicken, as opposed to like other kinds of chicken, just has a flavor that... Because chicken, you know, can be kind of boring flavor-wise. So... rotisserie chicken gives it a smokiness, and I guess maybe you can even add some pepper. But I guess you are adding lemon pepper, right? So it's just kind of fun, you know, talking about these stories. Oh, wait, throw that away. We don't want that. Want to make sure what we're putting in there is all good. Part of the chicken. You know, it's funny. I grew up always getting white meat. I think the dark meat was, it didn't seem as I guess I confused like dark meat like with dirtiness, and so I never liked dark meat, but I didn't know, right? I prejudged, and I think we're raised almost like to prejudge it, or like, ooh, you want the white meat, right? Like, I'm like, is that racist? You know, it's like the fear of black cats. Is there racism in there? I feel like maybe a lot of things have a diabolical and sort of inherent, ingrown, conditioned racism to it. But then when you get older and you find out that, oh wow, the dark meat is actually more flavorful, right? It's like the most flavorful part of the chicken. And you're just like, wow, how did I... Man. Oh, hi. Wait a minute. There's a... Okay. Wait. Joopy's here. Wait. I've got stuff all over my hands. I can't pick him up. Let me wash my hands. Okay. All right. So apparently... Come on, buddy. Okay. Apparently Joopy smells the chicken, and he's like, what is happening? Did you hear... I really hope you caught that meow on the camera. Hi. You want to help me cook? You want to help me eat? Look at that. Does it look good? So good. Yeah, Joopy wants that chicken. You want some chicken? Look, there's a lot of chicken. I can give you some. Yeah? Hi. Yeah, he's... All right, here. All right, we'll give him a little... All right, so this is a little spoon rest from Julia. We'll just give him a little bit of chicken here. Why not? Good boy. Alright. That was cute. So I'm glad I made this video because it opens you up to these spontaneous moments that like you don't plan for in life. And that's the important thing, you know, about trying new things or finding the courage to do something that you're not comfortable with, because it could really open you up to a new moment that you weren't expecting. Like, okay, so I don't know what happened. The camera stopped recording. I don't know how much we got. But recap, we're chopping up the rotisserie chicken. Joopy came by because he could smell it from 1,000 miles away. And he made a cute little meow, which I'm hoping was caught on the camera. And we're just chopping up rotisserie chicken. This takes a long time. I could have cut this up beforehand, but then hey, you know, doing it, showing you how long it takes, and then also, you know, then we can talk about, you know, stream of consciousness stories and, you know, whatever comes to mind while we're doing this, you know, which may be kind of fun. I don't know. I mean, lately when you watch cooking videos, it's so frenetic, right? They're just fast cuts, like da do da da da, and you put this and that, right? And then there's like music. There's no talking at all. So, I mean, there's a place for those, right? Like, I get it. There definitely is when you just want a quick thing like that, but it lacks personality, right? And Joopy's enjoying that chicken. And I think sometimes you just gotta, I mean, like, think about, like, cooking shows of the past, right? Like Julia Child. Look at Uncle Roger's channel, right? Or Guga. All these other people that do cooking. And there's a lot of amazing women, too, that, like Auntie Esther. All the aunties out there cooking. And TikTok videos. And there's this woman on, I don't know if it's Facebook Reels or YouTube Reels, Callista, maybe her name is, where her husband will be like, hey, can you make bowling Jessie sauce? You know, can you make that soup or that meat with the pasta with the bowling Jessie sauce? And she's like, bowling Jessie, huh? And obviously it's bolognese, right? But she always has this adorable, like, response, and then she just makes, like, the most amazing thing, right? Like, it's clearly, like, a great setup for a cooking show, right? And it's a lot of fun to watch. And they're actually pretty quick. I mean, she's an amazing cook, though. And she just busts out something amazing. Clearly knows what she's doing. It doesn't even seem like she's pausing to, like, look at a recipe ever. Because, like, when you look at the edit, there's no, like, real hard edits, right? Like, where she's stopping to, like, all right, what's next? Like, she clearly knows what she's doing. In fact, all right, so we'll throw the rest of this crap away. So crazy. All right, anyway. We got the chicken cut down. Next, we do apples. And it's got to be green apples, because green apples have, like, this wonderful crisp, like, tartness that is amazing flavor. I don't think red apples works well with this recipe. I've tried it. It just lacks. I love green apples, though, so maybe that is bias on my part because of that. Okay, but we need a better knife, a bigger knife. So first, I'm gonna wash my hands again. So we have, I think I think this knife would be good because it's not too big, nice hold, but it's not, like, too long, so, like, apples can be kind of slippery. Although maybe a longer knife would actually be better. So let's try. I love this knife. This is a gorgeous knife. This was actually designed by Jet Li, the actor. And I'm not usually prone to buying into gimmicky things, but it was from Perfection, who I love. And I do try to keep it really nice and sharp, and it's got a blue handle, so of course, you know, who cares about everything else? It's got a blue handle. Okay, I love the dark black and blue handle. So, we chop up the... Am I talking too much? maybe I'm talking too much. You know, if you're going to do a cooking show, it should primarily be about the cooking and not your own ego. But look, Juby's back. Juby! So, cutting up the apples. But like I said, I'm a little nervous because this is maybe like my second cooking video. You know, and I think a lot of people, they're like, if they're not comfortable doing something, they just won't do it. And my theory is, I think it's tried and true, that if you're not comfortable doing something, but you know it'll be good for you, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become over time. So just keep doing it. If you enjoy it, you know, if you enjoy it, if you have something you want to share, just keep going, and you'll get more comfortable as you go, right? So, and and it's fun to be able to share like stories about like my family. You know, you guys don't know me, so this is a way to kind of help you guys get to know me. But while also doing this great recipe that I really think you will enjoy if you like, if you want a nice, easy. And I do think relatively easy. I mean, nothing I'm doing is hard. Takes a little time, so you need to have a little time, and I normally don't. I'm also crazy busy because I run my own business. But you need to break up work with, dropping everything on the floor. Yeah, you need to break up the work with fun things or things you enjoy that feed your spirit, right? And ooh, that's nice. With the rotisserie chicken, with the apple, and you're just kind of folding it in. Oh, that's so nice. It feels good. Very much love, like, tactile. In fact, I was talking to my sweet, I will call her my girlfriend, even though we are still discussing that. Julia is wonderful. And we were talking this morning about, like, tactile feeling. Things that like really feel good, you know, like blankets, throw blankets and comforters and like cashmere and, you know, beautiful soft curtains maybe. Like, do you have something that you just love to feel? Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear what it is. I know everyone's always like trying to get engagement by saying put it in the comments, but honestly, and sometimes it feels disingenuous, I'm going to be honest. But I am curious, what are some things that you love the feel of? You know? Is that like an ASMR thing? I don't know. Anyway, like for me, I love like a really soft blanket. Or like, you know, like fidget things. There's this guy, Bruce something, and he machines his own like fidget toys, like with like really powerful magnets, and those are kind of cool. They just kind of slide, you know, back and forth through each other and stuff. It's like when I was a kid, I loved stuff like that when I was a little kid. Like the dentist office had a wall that was just like all fidget little toys, you know, like there's the little number game you can slide, and a chain door lock that can slide, and just like gears that spin, and you know, stuff like that. It was like all basically like what we would consider today is like fidget toys. Is basically what it is. And I guess I never really thought, it's interesting, I never really thought of that as marketable. It's interesting that at some point people thought, wait, people love this stuff. People just are antsy and anxious with their hands and they want to just be doing stuff. So why don't we, it's like the pet rock. Except, yeah, I mean, you could rub a pet rock. There's also a great poem by Richard Brodigan, who was like a beat poet from the 60s, and he says he was holding a flower petal in his pocket as gently as a polished stone, or something like that. It's a really beautiful little poem. Okay, so So, all right, now that we did that, we gotta wash our hands again. Okay, so now we add celery. And we have that here from our local Giant Eagle. I do have a little trash can here. I've been going across the room because I didn't put a new bag in this little tiny trash can on the floor. So we'll just do that now. Now, here's a fun thing. If you have a trash can and every time you throw something in it, the trash bag falls in, you can get these elastics. They come in a set of 3 on Amazon. I'm trying not to support Amazon, and I'm sure you could buy those just about anywhere. But they're just a big elastic, and they work great. Okay, and now we are chopping up our celery. Now, there are people that are really good at chopping, and they chop super fast, and I don't know if that's really necessary to chop super fast. I'm not trying to lose my mind making this recipe or show off. I don't want to cut myself. But, let's see. Maybe, let's see. And there's like a technique, right? And I don't like the technique, really. Like it's good. Right, like anyone can do that. But it's just like, ugh, it's exhausting. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a better way that's not exhausting. But I'm not trying to, be exhausted while I'm cooking. I'm trying to just enjoy it, put my love into the cooking, have a good time, share, thoughts, stuff like that, right? Don't have to go crazy. Don't have to go crazy. Okay. And also, of course, you always want to keep your fingers back when you're cutting. I actually learned that from working as a sous chef at a French restaurant when I was 15. It was like my first real job was as a sous chef, and it was kind of interesting. It's kind of fun how I got that job. Like, I think it was my birthday, or we were celebrating my bar mitzvah late or something like that. I forget what it was, but my mom took me to this French restaurant downtown Mountain View, California, where we basically lived. And they were so nice, and it was the kind of place where they got like award-winning clam chowder, and the waiter was really nice, and the napkins were like ducks or swans or something, like folded all nice. And I said to Scott, who was the waiter, I said, "Hey, I would love to work here." And he said, "Well, we're not hiring." And I said, or I asked him, "Can I talk to the chef?" And he said, "Sure." And I go to the kitchen, and I go, "Hi, I love everything you're doing here. I want to work here. Will you hire me? I'll do whatever the heck you want." And he says, "Okay." Next thing you know, I'm a sous chef. I'm making bread. I'm doing all the, grunt work and stuff, and I'm loving it. It was amazing. And he taught me about, holding your fingers back when you're chopping, and he taught me how to make his award-winning clam chowder, which he won at the Monterey, I think it was Monterey or Carmel or something. He won many times. And, yeah, that was Terry. I always wonder what happened to him. The sad thing is that you can't find any information about his restaurant, which was called Jacqueline Cafe and Wine Bar. And this was, in the mid to late 80s. So that's pre-internet. So it's not surprising that there's no information out there. But I've always wondered how he's doing and if he's alive. He was a really good guy. He really was. Okay, so now we're doing cucumbers. And the one thing that's kind of fun about like the cucumbers and celery, as you can see, is that they just kind of stick to the side, a lot of it, and then you can just slide it in. Now, as you can see, the bowl is filling up. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, maybe. The bowl's filling up rather quick. I am using everything. Like I used all the celery. I'm using all of the cucumber. It was a pretty big cucumber. And you can't see, but my recipe does not have any sizes for anything, like how much of anything to use. So I do definitely believe, at least in some form, like this kind of cooking, how much you do or how much you use doesn't matter. There are very key times when cooking by feeling is everything. And there's some cultures, of course, that truly believe that. Now, if you're making candy, if you're making desserts, a lot of the time, precision really does matter, right? But for this, I love the stuff where it doesn't. A salad, a smoothie, a stir fry, making eggs. Like a lot of stuff where you're just throwing stuff together. It just tastes amazing. You use plenty of seasoning and sauces and stuff. Then it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And then you just go by feeling. Okay, so we don't want this to fall. It seems to be a little... Okay, so... pine nuts. All right, so now we're not going to use all the pine nuts. Well, should we use all the pine nuts? I mean, pine nuts, okay. Out of everything here, pine nuts are actually like the most expensive thing. This little 4-ounce thing was like $7. And so pine nuts are actually like the most expensive thing. So what we're going to do with the pine nuts... All right, so we take a pan, and then we take Reynolds wrap. And then we're just going to sprinkle all on the pan. Can I really just get... Okay. Alright, so I guess we can... I don't want them like too deep because I want them to toast. All of them to toast, you know? Alright, well that works. Okay, great. So then we put this in the air fryer. Okay. And then we put it on toast for... Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, so we'll just put it on toast, air fry, for 2 minutes. Now, in a normal toast air fryer that doesn't require any preheating, I would just say do like 30 seconds. But this one, this is the Emerald Lagasse air fryer, which both me and Julia have, and I love it. I use it all the time. Cucumber. Sometimes you need a palate cleanser. Cooking is one area where you can get high on your own supply, and it's okay. Okay. All right, so while that's toasting, we are going to use basil here, which I just got this, so you don't want the pine nuts to burn. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, this is the first time I'm opening this basil because I just got this for this recipe. Oh. Okay. Okay, so it's like 45 seconds left. We don't want it to burn. Okay, so Yeah, see, if you sprinkled with the top thing on, you're not going to get enough, I think. I don't really want to use my hands. I keep washing my hands over and over again. The problem is that you have to keep washing your hands. So at this point, we'll just do this. We'll just do some stirring like this. And this, just trying to get the basil stirred in. You know, honestly, this bowl might actually be too small. Honestly, like we had a much bigger bowl, it would be so much easier to stir, right? But that's okay. I don't think I have. I'm pretty sure I don't have a bigger bowl. But maybe I'll get one. Okay, so that's the basil. I think that's a good amount of basil. Okay. Put that over here, and then we got the curry, and this was new too. So, but that lid came off a lot easier than the basil. Okay. Okay, now for the curry, because this stuff will stick all over your hands, I'm not going to put this on the same way. We'll actually just do it this way, and then we'll use the pour option. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is good. Okay, and this is, and then we're going to blend this in. Oh, that's going to be so good. It already smells like those like floral and spicy notes of the curry with the basil and the green apple and the chicken. I mean, they're just such beautiful flavors. They're just so vibrant, perfect for like this time of year. And I'm making a huge mess, aren't I? Again, a bigger bowl would have made this easier. Okay, so we stir it. And then put more curry. And I love curry, so that's why I'm kind of using a decent amount. Okay, put this here. All right. And since we're going to be stirring and everything anyway, I don't have to keep stirring because, okay, so I think we'll do another 2 minutes on the pine nuts. So while those are toasting, we'll do lemon pepper next. Now, I didn't know which lemon pepper to get, so I looked into the different companies like Lowry's, who have been around forever. But I want to know who I'm supporting. So I looked up this company, Kinder's lemon pepper, founded in 1946. I looked them up. They seem pretty cool, so I went with them. Whew, smells really nice, not too overpowering. Okay, so now remember, we're putting enough to blend throughout, right? So, because I'm going to do all the blending last now. Okay, now we got the oregano. I'm just going to sprinkle that in like that. Don't go too crazy because we're already putting a lot of seasoning. And oregano is really strong, so I feel like we don't need to use as much. Okay, thyme. I love thyme. Thyme keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into my chicken salad. Okay, use a lot of that. I mean, look at that. Oh, wow. Alright, so, and I think my mom uses mayonnaise. I do not. I will not be. And actually, at this point, because it is so full, and it's the last stir, I will use my hands. My hands are very clean, as you know. I washed them 160 times in the last 5 minutes. Okay, so we go like this. And we're just going to fold all of that seasoning in. Okay. I mean, to be honest, like, I've made this a lot, but this is the first time, like, recording it. And I think because of that, I'm putting a lot more, like, attention. And so I think it's going to be the best I've ever made. I really do. I mean, wow. I'm definitely being more liberal with the seasoning. Oh my god. That is amazing. That was just a piece of the cucumber with the seasoning on it. I'm not using, as you noticed, I'm not using any regular salt or regular pepper. I don't think it needs it. Because first of all, you got the lemon pepper. But, and salt is great for a lot of things. But if you're really trying to stay away from a lot of salt, like I am, even though I use a lot of salt on a lot of things, I just don't think this needs it. There's just already so much flavor going on. Now, the one thing, as you've noticed, we have not added is any lettuce. But lettuce will actually get soggy. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this separate. And then when you want to eat some, you'll just... In fact, let's do that now. So let's check out... Oh, okay, so the pine nuts, I can smell them now. So they're toasted. Yeah, the first time they weren't toasted. You couldn't smell them. Okay, so you got, look, you got a whole tray of these toasted cutie patootie heads, as they are known. That's their technical name, I believe. Okay, so, okay, put that in there. Oh my god, that smells so good. That toastiness, it for some reason it reminds me of like a movie theater. You know, like the popcorn where you can smell like the oil and the half-popped kernels. It's kind of got that vibe. Okay, so we'll just blend that all in. Oh my god, that's so good. Wow. I mean, wow. It smells so good. I wish Julia were here to try this because, I mean, this is just incredible. Alright. So now what we'll do to finish this off, get a little... Here we go. Get a little bowl. And then we'll take some lettuce, which we will break up here. Now, normally I would say use spring lettuce, but when I got my lettuce, they actually didn't have any spring lettuce. They were all out, so I just got a head of lettuce instead. And, you know, it's fine. I don't have enough lettuce. Ooh, it's crispy and yummy. Okay. And I don't have enough lettuce in my life. You know? I feel like that's one... You know, like you can tell just by holding certain foods that your body is just like connecting with them. Like you know you're not eating enough of them. It's almost like you have neural receptors that are calling out like, ooh, yes, I want that. Okay. So we got a little bed of lettuce situation, and then we're just going to grab a nice handful of that mixture that we made. Oh my god. So amazing. Okay. Now, at this point, I would say, hey, if you want to add a little sprinkle of salt, go for it. I'm not going to. And let's try this. Okay, we just get a big spoon. Okay. Alright, here we go. Gotta try it. So good. You know what? Oh, so good. Oh my god, that curry. Let's just try it. A little bit of salt. So what I did is I took Himalayan salt, but I powdered it up in a coffee grinder so that it just melts into everything. And I love that. On meat, on fish, whatever you're cooking, like a meat like that, the powderiness of it just melts right into it. So it's so good. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, if you try this recipe, please comment below. I do think the Himalayan salt helped a lot. It was amazing. It adds brings it, just burst of flavor, you know. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any stories of your own you want to share about learning how to cook, or jobs in cooking, or what made you love cooking, or like I had this friend Mike Seba who sadly passed away on Christmas Day in 2023, and he really taught me to slow down and appreciate food. And I think in turn that helped me to slow down and appreciate life. And he was a beautiful human being, and I know me and everyone that was ever close to him misses him all the time. So I will dedicate this to Mike Seba. And thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Woo! I mean, if you want, you know. Some people ask you to like and subscribe before they've even said anything. And I'm like, what? So I know I'm annoying. I know I am not good in front of the camera. And that's awesome because it's fun and vibrant and it's a great recipe. And I hope that makes up for my awkwardness. So, yeah, thank you. Okay, all right, bye-bye. Stay hydrated.